So I'm reading this on NPR. Factor that into this whole thing. Defying pre-election polls. A divided Brazil heads to a presidential runoff. So yesterday I was talking about how in Brazil they have runoff elections. If someone secures a majority, 50% plus one, they will avoid the runoff and be elected president. If you get 48% to 43%, a plurality, you won, but you did not reach a majority, right? You know, someone else comes in and sucks up the rest. Then there's going to be a runoff, and the runoff is in 4 weeks from now. I just gotta say, this fucking photo of Lula is so good. All right. Lula, a left-wing former president, finished in first place Sunday in Brazil's presidential election, but failed to secure enough votes for an outright victory and will face right-wing incumbent Jair Bolsonaro in an October 30th runoff. Despite pre-election polls giving Da Silva, who is widely known as Lula, a double-digit lead, the race was a nail-biter. In fact, Da Silva trailed for much of the night before finally inching ahead and winning with about 47.9% of the vote, with about 97% of votes counted. President Bolsonaro was runner-up with 43.6% in the 11-candidate race. So I just got to say this. When it comes to, like, you know, fascism, 11-candidate race, you know, I don't know, man. They got a different system down there. I don't know the intricacies of the Brazilian electoral system. But when Bolsonaro is the incumbent and he is running for election, and you got 11 candidates, right? 9 of which sucking up air from Lula, the only actual opposition. I'm sorry, man. That's some dumbass bullshit. And I say this as an American that does not live in Brazil. So, you know, my word, my opinion, not really worth much. Sunday's voting was largely peaceful after a contentious, sometimes violent campaign in which Brazil's democracy seemed to hang in the balance. Bolsonaro, who has praised the past military dictatorship of Brazil, repeatedly challenged the legitimacy of the election as it approached, and his opinion poll numbers flagged. Now, again, this guy's just going to pull whatever the Trump strategy is, like times 2. Lula represents democracy, said Julia Soteli, a museum worker who voted for Da Silva because of what she described as Bolsonaro's authoritarian tendencies. Lula wants to improve people's lives and end hunger. He is really concerned about human rights. Campaigning will now continue for the next 4 weeks. Pre-election polls put Da Silva within striking distance of winning the presidency in the first round by securing more than half the votes. But he came short, with Brazil now facing 4 more weeks of intense campaigning. Still, the result was kind of a vindication for Da Silva, who became a hero to many Brazilians during his 2 terms as president between 2003 and 10, when a commodities-fueled economic boom helped lift millions out of poverty. However, after leaving office, he became ensnarled in a blah-blah-blah stupid-ass bullshit. Why is that even talked about? Bolsonaro was swept to power 4 years ago by a coalition that included evangelical Christians. Now, I just gotta say again, Christians, everywhere, anytime they ever speak, Christians are fucking stupid. Evangelical Christians are dumb motherfuckers. They're dumb motherfuckers. Now, again, Bolsonaro, his family is quite literally tied to political assassinations. Not only that, but the government has been verifiably proven to be corrupt in its charges against Lula da Silva that put him in jail for like 2 or 3 years, right? So, that verifiable corruption, right? Family ties to assassinations, praising a military junta, and Christians are like, oh, God bless. Oh, God bless. Oh, God bless. Oh, they're like fucking goddamn Pinhead and Hellraiser. They're putting the pins all over them. Like, what the fuck is that shit that Christians do? Like, oh, the Father and the Ghost. Like, what the fuck? You believe in ghosts, motherfucker? Like, Jesus Christ. Anyway. Oh. Bolsonaro, 67, has had a rough 4 years in office. He downplayed the COVID pandemic in Brazil, ended up with the second highest COVID death toll in the world after the U.S. He is dealing with a stagnant economy with high inflation and unemployment and rising poverty. Not to mention he got COVID like fucking 3 times. So, fucking stupid ass bitch that I know of. Maybe he got a 4th or 5th. I don't even know. I stopped paying attention after the 3rd fucking COVID diagnosis. Bolsonaro spent months questioning the integrity of Brazil's electoral system. Oh, really? Oh, wow. called on the military to oversee the counting of ballots. Oh, wow. And hinted that he might not leave power, even if he lost. In the hours before the vote, he posted on Twitter feed of a video of former President Donald Trump urging people to vote for him. You know things are going really well when you get a guy who lost an election in another country to endorse you on the day of the voting. You know, not like a major Brazilian celebrity or politician or like a major Brazilian like newspaper outlet. You don't care about them on election day. Let's go grab Donald Trump. Let's go get the orange guy from fucking like 4,000, 5,000 miles away. Let's go bring that orange guy. How long? Like I think how far is Brazil away from fucking the United States? I think it's a lot longer than 5,000. I don't know. Let's go grab that fucking guy and get him to do an endorsement. I mean, goddamn, man, that's crazy shit. It's crazy shit. So anyway, bad news, but I mean, you know, again, as long as Lula wins the second round, but again, that's the thing here. Is that similarly in the United States, as we saw with January 6th, is winning the election is just part of the battle for power, right? Bolsonaro has been claiming if he loses the election, he praises the military junta, right? He is connected to families that have assassination ties, right? And he has verifiably and proven, had a corrupt cabinet and administration that just literally made shit up about his opponent already. So again, even if he loses the election, Bolsonaro, there's still a good chance Brazil is fucked. So, you know, it's a pretty scary situation down there. But there you go. That's the news. That's the update. Lula did win, so he is more popular than Bolsonaro. But, again, runoff elections. And again, 11 candidate race. I mean, give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break.